All right, Penn State this week, okay? This, they're in the top 25 in the ESPN Football Power Index, 22, I think, still. Same guys they started the year with, for the most part, that was ranked number 1 to number 3 in the country. So a lot of good football players at all positions, playing really hard here. Terry has done a really good job of sort of rejuvenating these guys. And it'll be his first opportunity to play a game at home. Tough place to play, 100,000 plus people. They're a really good football team. Had some tough times. And we got to have a great day today and a great week. Stacked days, just like always. Be prepared, have the right mindset, play really, really well. First play to last play. And been a change up there, obviously. James Franklin, had 5th in the country last year, was about 105 and 40 after 11 years. Did a tremendous job. Has always represented himself with class. A lot of respect for him. And Penn State. Always have had a lot of respect for Penn State, too. So, Saturday, Maryland, good win for us. I think when you look at that game, what sticks out, turnover ratio 5-1, resulting in 21 net points. Maryland was number 1 in the country in turnover ratio coming into the game. Great job by our defense creating 5 turnovers. And the rushing numbers, 370 to 37. There's others, 3rd and 4th down, we were 66%, they're 33. We had the ball 41 minutes almost, 4 or 5 touchdowns in the red area, they're 0-2. And our defense did a great job early when the offense turned it over, holding them to a field goal. And so it was a good win and got to play a lot of players. But obviously we've turned that page. And, everything in this game is earned, not given. And you got to earn it every single day. The game gives you nothing. You get out what you put in. And we got to really be sharp this week and have a great mindset. Questions?
I guess kind of a two-parter. First one is just injuries, specifically Aiden, Elijah, and Drew. Just kind of where are they heading into this week?
Yeah. Well, we'll know more on everyone as the week progresses. So we didn't really come out of that game with anything that we would call significant. The bumps and bruises that can occur during the course of a 12-game season. Aiden Fisher, we thought made really good progress toward the end of last week. Wasn't quite ready to go, very optimistic on him. Elijah, we'll know more day to day. He's been dealing with something the last 2 weeks, but has been able to play. Had a little tweak of something else early in the game, and we got him out for precautionary reasons. Drew Evans will not be available this week.
I guess the second part of it is, I understand you are not taking anything for granted, but with the way that the playoff has changed the postseason structure and the way that it's changed just, frankly, the length of a season, do you view injuries differently when you can, essentially kind of, if there's a wider sort of path to the playoff, do you think any differently about, risking a certain play? I don't say risking him, but, playing a player at a certain place in an injury or maybe giving him more time to heal, knowing that there might be greater opportunities deeper into the calendar, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Well, injuries are part of the game. Some of them are outside your control. I'm always thinking about the health of our football team, which is why we practice the way we practice. And if you happen to notice at the end of the games, when we're running the clock and snapping the ball with 2 seconds, we're reducing the number of plays in the game, right, which we've done quite a bit in some of the games where we've gotten out ahead. I think I know what you're asking. And the answer to that is we take those things day to day and make the best decision, starting with the individual's health.
Yeah, Curt, you worked to get Byron Baldwin some meaningful reps on Saturday. The players in the fall kind of raved about his progress. He suffers injury. How did he deal with kind of being sidelined, and now what do you expect from him going forward?
Yeah, I mean, he missed quite a bit of practice time, and which allowed us to kind of settle in on our 3 starters and keep them at the same position. We've got position flexibility, really with all 3 of those older guys. And Byron returned to practice maybe 2 weeks ago and got to play Saturday, so it was good to get him in there on defense. He's also playing special teams, recovered a fumble. He's a young guy that has a lot of talent, but he's a young guy. And, there's a big difference between guys that have been around the block for 5 years around this game and a freshman. In a lot of, I don't need to explain the difference between an 18-year-old and a 23-year-old. You guys, but he's got a great future. He recovered a fumble, thought he played well, and we're counting on him helping us the rest of the season.
Pete, on your left to Daniel.
Yeah, Curt, what's been the biggest jump in Omar in terms of performance this year, and including perhaps blocking? And then what do you need to see more from Jonathan Brady and Charlie Becker?
I think Cooper, with another year of maturity, has just become more consistent. There's still improvements to be made, like everybody else on the team. He had that drop, and then another one we could have come down with. It was a tough catch, but he could have had a huge day. But he's an explosive player. He's good after the catch, hard to tackle, and he just keeps getting better and better. And I think it's all in front of him. I really do. And I've seen a lot of growth in Omar, and I've always been really impressed with his upside since the first spring after I got to watch him a few times and saw his explosion and suddenness. Charlie Becker's done a good job. He's taken advantage of his opportunities and saw more playing time on Saturday. Also a real key guy on our special teams, as is Brady as a punt returner. Brady's made a few plays in the slot also. He's just unfortunately behind Cooper. But Cooper's got the flexibility. We can move him around, play him inside, outside, which then only increases his reps.
Daniel in front of Matt.
I think Ola had mentioned this last week on Lou Moore, that he was a guy you guys wanted to keep in 23. Why did you welcome him back in 24, and just what's kind of driven the year that he's had?
Yeah, well, a lot of these guys were in the portal before I got hired. Lou Moore was one that was not, and I thought we were going to be able to retain him, and he ended up leaving. And, I base it on, all these guys I had one-on-one meetings with. Benson, Lou Moore. There might be another one that came back. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I thought they were good players when they were here. They were productive players where they went, and they saw the program change here and wanted to be a part of it. And, there's no hard feelings from my side. They made a business decision. And then I made a business decision bringing them back.
Matt Weaver on your right and Sammy.
Coach, a few weeks ago, Penn State lost Drew Allard to an injury for the season, put in Grunkemeyer, the backup. Have they changed anything? I mean, what have you seen from his game, and have they kind of tweaked or altered their offense at all, or are they pretty much still running what they were running before?
Yeah, I mean, I think week to week people are always morphing a little bit. And, this is a talented guy that was very highly recruited out of high school, set a lot of records in Ohio. He's tall, he can spin the ball. He moves well enough to get out of trouble. He's made some impressive throws. He can get out of his hand fast. And you can see with every series, every snap, he's improving and he's learning. He's a good player.
Sammy on your right and Zach Beat.
Coach, 2 running backs, Singleton and Allen. What makes them so difficult to stop, and then what makes them different from one another?
Yeah, well, having 2 of them makes each other even more difficult to stop because they can rotate them in and out and keep them fresh. And, you know, they're both explosive. They're both fast. You know, one might be a hair bigger than the other. One might be a tad quicker than the other. But those are NFL guys. They were impressive against Ohio State.
Exactly in front of Josh.
I know you talked about pre-UCLA. You kind of threw out the pre-coaching change tape on them. Is that similar? How does the process change when you're looking at Penn State this weekend?
Yeah, well, you know, the defensive coordinator is still in place. And obviously we faced them last season at Ohio State. So, you know, that part of it really hadn't changed. We put a little bit more weight, obviously, on some games than others, you know, in our breakdowns. Same with the offense. But, you know, in regards to our defensive preparation, there'll be obviously a strong focus on their offense since this fellow's been playing quarterback. That doesn't mean that we won't look at all the other stuff because a lot of it's core to what they do.
Josh, on your right to Jim.
Coach, we've seen Fernando's arm talent grow each week, but how have you seen his ground game, his running ability grow in these first 9 games?
Yeah, I mean, it's what I expected it to be, honestly. And I think, you know, once he kind of learned the offense and what you've seen from him is not only making the plays with his arm, cutting his losses, getting us out of bad situations, but making extremely important plays with his legs. And I can't emphasize enough how important that is at the quarterback position. And he continued to do that Saturday against Maryland. And it's a weapon, and it makes us better.
Jim in front and ready.
Curt, this is the second team you're facing that had a coaching change. And what difficulties come with preparing for teams that have mid-season coaching changes and player changes as well with quarterback?
Well, it's all on tapes. You prepare for what you see on tape, right? So UCLA was a particular situation where there were new coordinators on both sides of the ball and had really kind of done a 180. You see Penn State really laying it on the line on tape, impressed with that football team, but the coordinators are still in place. So schematically, there's not a big change.
Ravi on your left to Joe.
Yeah, Coach. So this is going to be one of those dumb sports writer questions, I think, but I'm actually trying to learn and understand something. You guys rushed for 367, multiple drives, the running game's dominant. You and I talked after the game, you said the offensive line was good. Fernando praised him. Yet I look at some of the grades, and 4 of the 5 guys had grades that would be like below average. I'm confused when the line blocks that well and and the team runs that well, and then I see grades like that. Am I missing something? Did you guys have bad grades for them? Just teach me what the difference is.
What grades are you referring to?
Like the people who do grades, like PFF and people like that.
Yeah, I don't pay attention. I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
I just know when we sit in there and watch the tape, and it takes us about 2 hours as an offensive staff to sit down together and watch the game, and we'll go through every play and dissect technique, alignment technique, execution, finish, those types of things. You know, the things that we need to correct, get better at. So I'm not really aware of the PFF grades. Yeah.
So from what were you guys watching? From a game like Maryland, did they grade out well, average, poor? Just help me learn what I'm looking at and how a coach sees it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, you know, you look and there's good, bad, and ugly almost every single game, right? And you obviously want more of the good, but there's things that have to improve, whether it be hand placement, reduction in penalties. There weren't that many missed assignments. Maybe it's poor technique, okay? As coaches, you tend to focus in on areas of improvement, right? Because you're always pushing to get better and better. So, no, but look, we wouldn't be where we are today, you know, without the line being physical, getting it done, and taking over the game. And our backs are really running hard. And our tight ends, you know, are a big part of that. And most of the time, our receivers.
Joe, and then we're right with Mike.
When you still have a quarter of the regular season left, playoff aspirations, what expectations do you have for your team when they're not on the practice field, when they're away from the facility on recovery and maintaining their body to be fresh come game day?
I don't think those expectations change any time of the year. I mean, if you want to be the best that you can be, and you're committed to being the best you can be, you do a good job when you're in the building, right? You do a great job, high standards, and you eat right off the field, you get your rest, and you don't do things that are going to set you back. To me, it's whether it's November or April, it's all the same.
Mike, on your right, last one.
Coach, that third drive on Saturday, it seemed like you guys made some significant changes going to the running game. Kalon was very effective. Practically speaking, what does that look like when you have limited time there to make those changes in game? You've talked about using technology. Just what does that process look like?
Yeah, well, part of that time I'm on the headset listening to what's going on defense, and then the offensive coaches are communicating. And usually Mike will communicate with Bob about the run game and Chandler about the pass game. And, you know, we kind of came off the ball and you got north-south with our run game a little bit. And, you know, I can't remember every play of that drive off the top of my head. Fernando may have had a good run that series. Yeah. Maybe it's a point of emphasis. From my standpoint, we needed to get the game settled down. You know, our first series, we had an interception. Guy jumped a route. We held him to a field goal. Second series, we didn't get anything done. And they had great field position again. Defense held them. Now we had the ball, I believe, on the -7. All right? And my message to Mike and the offensive staff was patience. Okay, that we just needed to weather the storm and chip away and, you know, get our feet on the ground, which we did. Because I've seen a lot of those kind of starts have the potential to really snowball against you, you know. And I thought we did a good job managing that situation.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.